Every single person who has ever lived, every human being across all of recorded history, exists because of a gamble. A gamble that should not have worked. A gamble that made no mathematical sense. A gamble that life almost never made. Because for most of Earth's early history, life didn't do what we would recognize as sex. No partners, no searching, no waiting. Just one cell becoming two. Quietly, efficiently, perfectly. For longer than the human mind can actually hold. And it worked. So, here is the question nobody thinks to ask. If life survived 2 billion years without sex, why did it ever start? And why, once it started, could it never go back? Now, go back, far back, before animals, before plants, before anything with a face. The ocean is alive. But in the beginning, most of it is doing the same basic thing, copying. One cell spills into two, two into four, four into eight. No variation, no mixing, no mystery. Just the same blueprint, echoing forward through time, patient, efficient, and eternal. From a pure survival standpoint, this is genius. No energy wasted finding a partner. No compromise on what gets passed down. Every single offspring carries your complete story. Not half of it, all of it. Cloning is the most efficient thing life ever invented. So why did life walk away from it? Picture an ocean full of clones. Then a virus shows up. It doesn't have to crack 1,000 different defenses. Just one. Because that same weakness is everywhere. And suddenly, the ocean gets quiet. Here is the answer. And it should unsettle you. Because perfect copies in a changing world are a disaster written in slow motion. Think about what identical really means. One new toxin drifts through the water. One microscopic stranger your ancestors never encountered. One quiet shift in temperature your blueprint was never built for. And every single copy, every identical descendant stitching back across millions of years, faces the exact same weakness at the exact same moment. That's why they are all the same. There is nowhere to hide inside sameness. No variation, no lucky outlier, no one cell that happened to be built differently and happened to survive. Just one fragile blueprint, repeated a billion times across an entire ocean, waiting for the one thing it was never designed to face. Life had built something extraordinary and accidentally made it one bad day away from gone. So, nature began to make mistakes. When a cell copied its DNA, sometimes it got something slightly wrong. A single misplaced letter in an instruction manual billions of years long. Most mistakes were fatal. Many changed nothing at all. But occasionally, just occasionally, a mistake produced something different. Not better, not worse, just different. And in a world that never stops changing, different is the most valuable thing there is. This worked, slowly, agonizingly slowly. One useful accident per millions of attempts. One small advantage per thousands of generations. Adapting this way is like trying to outrun a flood one careful step at a time. Life needed something faster, something that didn't wait for accidents, but made variety the entire point. And then, in some quiet corner of some ancient ocean, in a moment we will never be able to name, two cells met, and instead of one copying the other, they did something no cell had ever done before. They shared. Stop here for a moment. So, this is the hinge point of the entire history of complex life. Everything that comes after, every animal, every forest, every phase begins here. Two cells, sharing their histories, that is all it was. And it changed everything. Imagine what sharing actually means. You take your entire instruction manual, every adaptation your ancestors bleed for across millions of years of trial and error, and you open it completely to someone else's. Half from you, half from them, woven together into something that neither of you could have written alone. The result is not a copy of either parent. It is not a compromise between them. It is a completely new experiment. A combination that has never existed in the entire 4 billion year history of life on Earth, and will never exist again. That is what sex actually is, at its most ancient and fundamental level. Not romance, not pleasure, not the story we tell ourselves about love. Though that story is real, and it matters. At its core, sex is two sets of DNA shuffled together like a deck of cards, producing a hand that has never once been dealt in all the time life has existed. And the world changed because of it. Where cloning had produced sameness, sex produced variety. Where one blueprint meant one weakness, mixed DNA meant a population full of different answers to the same impossible questions. Some built for heat, some for cold, some carrying quiet resistances to diseases that would erase every identical copy around them. A new predator evolves a weapon somewhere in the population. Someone already has a defense they did not even know they were carrying. A new pathogen drifts through the water. By the pure accident of their particular combination, someone survives. Someone always survives. Sex did not make any individual stronger. It made life itself, as a whole, as a system nearly impossible to destroy completely. And here is what should stop you. This is still happening inside you right now. Every time your immune system meets something new, it reaches into a library of variations built by millions of years of exactly this. The flu reinvents itself every year. Your immune system can answer back because no two people on Earth carry exactly the same defenses. Somewhere in the human population, someone already has a partial answer to almost every new threat that appears. That is not luck. That is 4 billion years of shuffled cards, finally paying off. But nothing in the history of life has ever been free. Cloning is cheap, brutally beautifully cheap. One cell becomes two. No searching, no waiting, no compromise. Every single offspring carries your complete blueprint, your entire story passed down perfectly, generation after generation. In terms of pure mathematics, cloning is the best deal life ever had. Sex is the opposite. You have to find another organism, not just any organism, a compatible one. You have to invest time, energy, vulnerability. And at the end of all of that, after everything you put in, you pass on only half of your DNA. Not all of it, half. Think about what that means. Every single generation, you are gambling away half of everything your ancestors spent millions of years building. From a purely mathematical standpoint, sex should have lost. Efficiency should have won. Cloning should still be the only game on Earth. So why isn't it? Because efficiency is a trap when the world never stops changing. A population of clones is one disease away from silence, one bad century, one shift no blueprint prepared for. And everyone goes together. A population that mixes, that reshuffles the deck every generation, is a moving target. A living experiment that never stops asking what else it could become. The environment shifts, and somewhere in all that variation, life has already quietly prepared an answer it did not know it needed. Cloning is a perfect photograph of one single moment. Sex is a story that rewrites itself every generation. And in the long run, stories outlast photographs. Because a photograph holds what was. A story keeps reaching toward what could be. Here is what I want you to feel, not just understand. You are not a copy. Not of your mother, not of your father, not of any ancestor in the long, branching 4 billion year history of life on this planet. The specific combination of DNA inside every cell of your body, the exact shuffle that made your face, your laugh, your tendencies, the particular way you move through the world, the shape of the thoughts you are having right now, has never existed before in 4 billion years. That is not poetry, that is biology. You are the direct result of life's most important gamble. The quiet decision made in some ancient ocean to stop playing it safe, to mix, to vary, to trade the comfort of perfect copies for the unbreakable, endless power of something genuinely new. The biologist Lynn Margulis once said, "Life did not take over the globe by combat, but by networking." And I think that is the deepest truth hiding inside this story. Sex was not just a biological upgrade. It was life learning that two incomplete things woven together can become something neither could ever be alone. Life did not stop cloning itself because it was brave. It stopped because the world kept changing, and sameness, in a world that never holds still, is just extinction written in slow motion. Every species alive today, every bird, every forest, every creature in the deep ocean is here because somewhere in its ancestry, two organisms made this same impossible gamble. The variety of life you see on Earth is not random noise. It is not decoration. It is the accumulated record of billions of years of DNA, being shuffled, mixed, and tested against every challenges this planet could imagine. Biodiversity is a record of every bit life has ever owned. And you, with your unrepeatable combination, you're one of a kind shuffle drawn from 4 billion years of history. You are the latest bit. If that idea stays with you, subscribe to the Discovery Muse and check out the full Origins of Life playlist. Because this story is just one piece of something much bigger. Every episode, one ancient mystery. Every mystery, a question that changes how you see yourself. We will find out together.